FDA and the big companies like Colgate and Procter & Gamble and all those guys, they promote fluoride, so the toxic chemicals that they feed us in our water and want to feed you in the toothpaste and everything else. That's what they say helps keep you from getting cavities. And so it's kind of like, you know, the banking system and like what you're doing and everything else is kind of that whole other side of it you have to look at, is like they are, you know, telling you one thing but they misdirect you, but when you should really be doing this over here.
Hey, I'm super excited out here in Ohio doing the Making Bank podcast. You know, Josh Felber's the founder of Primal Life, and the cool part about this is a big podcast, and coming out and doing it live, seeing the operation is going to be really fun. Come on.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing,
How
brother?
are ya?
Good to see you.
How are you?
It's been a handful of months, huh?
Yeah, too many.
We tried to get this a few times scheduled.
Yeah,
so.
we had a little bit of an issue, but that's all right. It all happened. You know,
Yeah.
we met back in August out with Randy Garner, and we went out to dinner. It was so fun, and we're just talking. I don't know how this even happened. I think Randy was like, you should have him on your podcast.
Yep.
And that began the journey. And what is this? This is now March 2023. So sometimes these things take time. There is no getting rich quick, and there's no getting on a podcast quick either.
And you just got to commit and keep going after it until you get it done, right?
That's for sure. Yeah, so how did you get started with Primal Life?
So my wife wrote me into it, but no.
The best way to get started.
That's right. No, so she actually came up with the idea when our kids were first born, our daughter, like trying to find healthy products and everything. And she started making them. She's a nurse and a nurse anesthetist, so she kind of thinks like how to formulate stuff and all that. She started making it, and she's like, "Oh, maybe I should sell this online." And I'm like, "Sure, let's do it. Let's build out a website store and do all this kind of stuff." And so we got a WordPress site up, launched it, and kicked it off. All of a sudden, it took off, and we did pretty well. And then I launched a bunch of CrossFits. So health and, you know, staying healthy and everything else ties in with it. And so we started eating Primal and Paleo. So she's like, I wonder if there's anything called Paleo skincare, any kind of Paleo skincare. And all of our products fit. Tons of searches, but nothing else out there. So we rebranded, relaunched the new company in 2012 called Primal Life. And then it just exploded after that. So
Freaking love it. You know,
Yeah, man.
The most important thing is your health. And your health is your wealth. So that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, why would you want your kids to have crap and put crap on their skin and their mouth when you can actually have something good? And that's what you did. You solved the problem.
And what was so funny is that you mentioned that when we were building it, we said that the products are so healthy, even your kids could eat them. Because when our boys were 2 or 3, they would scoop out this body butter stuff and then just eat it. They thought it was like so tasty and stuff. So that was one of our little hashtag.
Well, that's pretty cool. You can actually do a commercial with your kid getting in it.
It is, yeah.
And then start eating it.
Yeah, we promoted that all the
You
time.
don't want to do that with any of the stuff off
Not
the
now.
shelf.
Yeah.
Cool, let's do it.
Awesome, man. The whole thing for us was Primal is real raw ingredients. And so that's what we use in all of our products, real raw ingredients.
Oh,
And
wow,
so-
that's kind of where you were mentioning that kids could actually eat
The body butter, yeah.
butter. I mean, hey, better than Tide Packs, I guess.
I guess. I hope nobody would eat those. Well, cool, man. Well, let's go on a quick tour and I'll show you around.
Cool.
Like all of our stuff over here. And then we'll go this way. If you want to go that way, this is our manufacturing side. We'll just kind of peek in. So here's where they create all of our tooth powders and things like that. That's the powder room. Oh, we did this like 97% of everything we manufacture in-house. So tooth powders, our toothpaste, our deodorants. I think that's like our toothpaste sealer machine, and fillers and stuff there. And then pretty much everything here without going too far in here. But yeah, it's all the peppermint stuff. We're making tooth powder and deodorants. So my wife started in 2012.
Okay.
And initially, actually it was in like 2009 really, but it was under a different company, and she's like, I gotta make stuff for the kids. We can't find natural stuff that's truly natural. We'll take a tour of the products and show you what we have. And then I was like, oh yeah, and I've owned 15 companies since I was 14. So I was like, let's put it online and sell it. And she's like, oh, I was just thinking a little Etsy store. And so it did okay. And then in like 2010, I opened up a bunch of CrossFits. And so we got into the paleo health and all that. And she's like, I wonder if there's paleo skincare out there. And so she started looking, tons of searches, but nothing out there except for an article saying, hey, if you use like coconut and this and olive oil and things like in your skincare, that's paleo. So she's like, well, that's what we make. And so we rebranded in 2012 and kind of relaunched it under Primal Life. And then it just like double year over year. And
I like to hear those stories of businesses going from a simple idea,
Yeah.
like a little Etsy store, and then just
exploding. Yeah, the formulas we formulate here, and then we make everything here other than the hardware.
I'll definitely become a customer too, because my wife, that's what she's always looking for.
Cool. Yeah. You ready to rock?
I'm always ready.
Cool. These are going to be tooth powders. So this is what you would actually replace your toothpaste with.
Okay.
So like whatever, I don't know what kind of toothpaste you use, but
Sensodyne.
so yeah, this will actually be better because Sensodyne uses stuff in it that actually like dulls the stuff. That's why you don't keeps them from getting sensitive. This is actually all natural clays and something called hydroxyapatite, which is actually what your teeth are made out of. And so it'll help rebuild mineralization and do all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So this is awesome for you can put a couple drops and just rub it on your gums. It'll help improve like gum health and everything.
Oh, really?
Plus, if you want, like, it's great. You can throw a couple drops in a glass of water, swish it around, give fresh breath, and
Kind of like Listerine.
yeah, but all natural.
Yeah.
Listerine's bad for you. This is one of our newest products here, Dental Boost. It has the hydroxyapatite. It has natural whitening stuff and things like that. Just put some on your toothbrush or on your finger. Just rub it on your teeth. Let it sit for 2 minutes and rinse. Floss. So it's just charcoal infused floss. These are the floss picks.
That's the only way I floss too, are those things.
The cool thing is the handles are made out of non-GMO cornstarch, so they're not actually plastic. So they biodegrade. A lot of times people overuse activated charcoal on their teeth. You can actually like strip it down. So we actually have a version of our tooth powder that has some in it, but it's our same formula with with charcoal added.
Okay.
When you're brushing, it'll help kind of give it a little whitening effect and help detoxify the mouth. All of our clays do that as well, as they help detoxify the mouth and everything too as well. I don't know if you guys use lip balm.
Yeah.
Yep. So
There we go.
all natural lip balm.
So I'm scared to even ask. Is this bad?
It's not the worst.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I needed to hear.
One for your wife. It's a tongue scraper, and so what that does is.
Yep, that's where all the bad breath.
Yeah. So you just after you brush your teeth, just take it, scrape your tongue, rinse.
Is that made out of copper?
Yeah, it's pure copper. Yeah. It helps with the bacteria and stuff, and it keeps more bacteria from building up on it and stuff because it's copper. People tend to get like redness more in their cheeks and stuff. This carrot seed will help kind of balance it all out and smooth it all out. Especially good during the winter. And you guys are up where it's cold, so.
This stuff will hook my wife and she'll all of a sudden be putting this on the Amex.
So this would be more like a men's deodorant. So this is the Black Rogue. It'll have the charcoal in it and stuff, plus the different clays.
This is the one I'm excited about.
This one, hemp seed, just a bunch of different stuff. So that would be more like a men's smelling.
Okay.
And then this is a black lavender. Or a white lavender. This is like a healing balm. So like cuts and things like that. Put it on within a couple days, it heals up.
Can I try one of those?
Yeah.
Because we'll get Cash to scratch me. So like this,
yeah.
my shop cat. And then that'll be a great thing. So
we had somebody buying like 100 of these at a time. Something happened to his dog where he had like a bad skin condition and he lost all his fur and it was red and raw. It looked like hamburger all the way down. But he's been buying these and tearing them out and putting it on him. He said within a month, it almost was back to normal.
No way.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we have pictures of like the guy
so
sent us.
wild.
So that was like super cool. It was like just something cool to hear. Like, oh, that's awesome. We have like shaving cream. They're like these size. I mean, they're heavier, but yeah, they're travel size because I carry mine when I travel. Like I said, we have so much stuff.
yeah, so much stuff. Oh my God,
Like,
look at all this.
I'm trying to
holy
keep it
crap.
simple.
This is simple. Man, I feel like Charlie from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, except for Willy Wonka's organic factory.
These are like our biggest selling item. These are the teeth whitener systems.
And these really work.
Oh yeah. And like I said,
Is it going to make my teeth super sensitive or not?
No, everything we do is made to heal. So the ingredients that are in here are similar ingredients that are like in your tooth powders and things like
my
that.
dentist gave me before I got my new front thing, like, killed my teeth.
Okay. Yeah, no, because there's no bleaches or there's no peroxides or things like that. They're all peroxide free. And
No way. You can whiten your teeth without peroxide.
yeah, and it takes longer sometimes for some people.
So you just put it in the tray and you just bite down
Just
on
put
it?
it in the tray. Yeah, just kind of pop it in your mouth. You don't want to bite through it, but yeah, pressure on it. And then there's different modes. So there's all blue, which that's the whitening mode.
Okay.
There's all red, which is the gum healing mode. So that'll actually help your gums heal, like an infrared sauna. Yeah, just like that. And then there's a dual mode, which is this, which does the whitening and healing, which that's the mode I use. Your wife can use the same device, but these are extra mouth guards.
Oh, great.
Sonic toothbrush. It's similar to like your Sonic Care, but it's all bamboo, and the heads are 100% biodegradable. So they're
bamboo toothbrush.
Yeah, and they're all bamboo, and then it's a smaller bristle head, so you can get more places. Some people they're used to the bigger ones, like, oh, they're so small, but they're made to get behind the areas that we sometimes can't get with a normal toothbrush. Cool. All right, I think you got all the goodies.
Yes.
We're in a 2,000 square foot house when we started it, and 3 little kids, and our nanny was, when the kids would nap, she would help make the stuff and ship the stuff out, because my wife was working as a nurse anesthetist, so she was working 40 hours a week, and I had the CrossFit gyms and everything else. So yeah, that's where it all started. And then
what year was that again?
Technically 2009, but 2012 when we relaunched it under this brand. But yeah, I mean, we get testimonials all the time from people. I mean, that one lady, I remember, this is probably a few years ago, she called us, our 800 number, and left a voice message. She goes, "You won't believe, after using your tooth powder, I went to my dentist, I was supposed to have like 4 root canals, and I've been using your tooth powder as a last resort, and your gums here, your gum drops for like 4 months or 5 months now." And she's like, "I went back in and they can't find where they were supposed to do any of this work at." Yeah, like we're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And actually, that's what my wife created, the tooth powder, because when our daughter was, I think,
you got that in here, right?
Yeah, the tooth powder. Yeah, that's this one right here.
Hold it up, hold it up.
What I would normally think is toothpaste.
So it's a powdered toothpaste. Yeah, powdered mineral toothpaste. Yeah. That's what we changed the name, so it makes it easier to understand. So powdered mineral toothpaste. But my wife created it because when our daughter, I think it was 2 or 3, she had when her molar came in, it had a defect in it, so it almost had like its own cavity when it grew in. And so we went to the dentist. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna either have to come out or something in the next year. We'll have to pull it, or it'll just, have to remove the tooth." And she's like, "Oh, we're not gonna let that happen." So that's why she came up with this tooth powder.
And it worked.
So she brushed with it all the time, and we would pack it or whatever, just pack the top of the tooth with it. And she finally lost the molar and never had to have any work done to it or anything like that. So it never got bigger, and it stayed. Yeah, and the dentist was always just like, "What? That's crazy." Wow. FDA and the big companies like Colgate and Procter & Gamble and all those guys, they promote fluoride, so the toxic chemicals that they feed us in our water and want to feed you in the toothpaste and everything else. That's what they say helps keep you from getting cavities. And so it's kind of like, the banking system and like what you're doing and everything else is kind of that whole other side of it you have to look at, is like they are, telling you one thing, but they misdirect you, but when you should really be doing this over here, because you want to put stuff in that are actually going to help improve and heal. And fluoride's not a natural, normal thing, and so that's not going to help heal your body. And so all the products that we have, those are made from all ingredients that are all focused on healing, whether it's skin or in the mouth, that kind of thing. Yeah, one of the biggest things about deodorant though is you actually want to sweat. Ours are made with 3 different clays. The 3 different clays will help with the absorption and everything. And then we use charcoal in our black ones, and then our white ones don't use charcoal. So
Upbringing is very common to a lot of people. It's a lower working class family.
Okay.
My dad was actually an alcoholic, and they split, so my mom raised me, and it was pretty hard on her. I mean,
sure.
But that's what made me who I was. She always taught me to dream, and she taught me simple, basic things that she had. I came home to my mom thinking she's gonna be so upset, and I said, "Mom, I'm gonna start a clothing line in the basement. It's gonna be called Fat Clothing Company, PHAT." Back then, this is 1992.
Yeah, that was a cool word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dating myself a little bit. I guess I look a little younger, but 1992, I started that first company in Mom's basement. And I wanted to open in the Lockport Mall, this rinky-dink little shopping mall, and I needed 70 grand to do this. Let's go back, I'm 17 and I need 70 grand for this dream to be real. Everybody in my family that I talked to about it said, "You're crazy," except for my mom. Said, "You're crazy, you'll lose all the money." My dad said, "You gotta get a job at the factory." And luckily I had that one unconditional person in my life, it was my mom. When I told her, she'd always check in on me, and I said, "Well, the bank said I need collateral, and my baseball card collection wasn't enough." So she put her house on the line.
Wow.
The only thing she had in the world was how she got in the divorce, and she put it on the line so that I could get that $70,000 SBA-backed loan. And Batman Board Shop opened in November '94, and it's still open today. I sold it in 2010. So that was like my early days of becoming an entrepreneur. And I didn't become an entrepreneur for the reasons a lot of people do, to get rich.
Right.
I did it because it was just a great way where I could still snowboard, skateboard, but yet make money to support my travels. It was a great trip, a great podcast. A lot more going to be coming out of this. You know, it's interesting when you get around really successful people. You get to think the way you want to think instead of the way that sometimes you think you have to talk and think. And he's a big thinker. It's pretty wild. And I got a lot of great ideas. And he gave me some good marketing ideas on how I'm going to promote the podcast. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get back on the road now. See you in a little bit.